Hey everyone, Danny Clark here with MovNat. Continuing the journey you're going on with learning some ground movement and some natural movements to help you gain some mobility and maybe even work on your ability to breathe, get stronger and more stable to set you up for some higher level movements that either through the MovNat curriculum or through whatever exercise routine that you follow, sports, recreational activities, whatever you do, these are going to help you feel and move better. By now you probably have noticed that without even having to hold long stretches or kind of get really deep into these stretches like you would if you were going to do something like yoga, you still can add quite a bit of flexibility, sometimes even faster. Okay, the more we work with our nervous system and do the things we're kind of naturally supposed to do, a lot of times our bodies will respond a bit faster. So this is also a great way to just complement your yoga practice with some more stability. So we're going to continue that series. Last time we went over some kneeling variations, some practical mobility drills. This time we're going to go into some deep squatting. Okay, and in the fitness industry, there's sort of this regulation on what a squat is, and how deep you're supposed to go, and what's right and what's wrong. And for now, we're going to throw that out the window because we're not throwing 100, 200, 500 pounds on our back. We're just going to use our body weight. So we're going to get into a nice deep squat. So I'm in a kneeling position here. We're actually going to get into an intermediate position before the actual squat called the deep knee bend. Okay? And if you have trouble with this or any of these positions, I'm going to show you some variations in a second. So for the deep knee bend, it's sort of like a crouch. What I'm going to do is just curl my toes under and sit on them for a second. Now this position already is sort of painful on your toes. That's going to be it for right now. You can just take 5 or 10 breaths here, kind of move your toes around and just allow them to open up. Of course, foot strength and flexibility is a foundational component of natural movement. Our feet have very important jobs to do in the real world. So from here, if this is okay for you, what you're going to do is just lean back like we did yesterday, enough so that I can allow my knees to lift off the ground. And I'm in sort of a crouch position, what we call at MovNat the deep knee bend. Now I can stand up from here, or I can go into a deep squat. Now, a narrow stance is difficult to go into a deep squat, so for now I'm just going to walk my feet out a little wider and come into this nice deep squat. Okay, from here, again, you can adjust your stance. If you want to go wider, it's generally going to be a little easier on your hips if you're pretty stiff. Okay, because I want to create as much length in my spine as I can. And again, I'm going to start scanning the horizon. I can even start reaching. And I can even start turning my hips a little bit with that reaching. And settle into this position. Now, if you can keep a pretty tall spine here, I'll rotate so you can see mine. You'll see it's not perfectly straight, and that's okay. It's a nice way to release the lower back. Okay? But if you feel like your hips, knees, ankles are okay here, you can start to walk your stance feet in a little bit. And just try to maintain this position. Now, if you're having trouble with either of these positions, you can hold on to something and settle into it. Now, you can't see it here, it's flat, but I have a handle right here. I'm just going to grip onto that. You can use a doorknob, whatever works for you. You can start standing and just kind of ease yourself down, shimmy around a little bit, breathe, and allow yourself to settle. And then stand up a few times, come back down. If the deep squat feels accessible from here, or you feel like it's just your ankles that need the stretching, lift your heels a little bit to come toward that deep knee bend position and allow your ankles to stretch, move here. If this feels okay, especially on the knees, you can walk your feet together and kind of work that deep knee bend and deep squat position. And I can add some movement to this. We don't want to get stuck on one way of doing things. Okay, and of course I can add this to my repertoire as I transition from various sitting positions. Okay, I can come into my deep squat, come back down. Okay, even from the bent sit position, and work on coming up into this position. A lot of times that's pretty difficult, so you can use a kettlebell for a counterweight and MovNat, what we call combined center of gravity, to help you work into this position. And that brings me to another note. I don't have a kettlebell around me, but any of these positions feel difficult to maintain that spine, Posting's option 1, bolstering's option number 2. I can use counterweights or holding on to things to kind of help me find these positions and move around. That's our deep squat. Your challenge for today is to be able to work toward holding the deep squat for about 30 seconds, holding the deep knee bend for about 30 seconds, and that'll be a part of our final sequence at the end when we work up to 10 minutes of ground movement. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.